Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have our second guest today. It is a trademark lawyer and the founder of the firm Ospina Law. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Tannia Ospina. She joins us today to highlight her business, the services she offers to entrepreneurs and influencers. So please help me in welcoming to our show, Tannia Ospina. Hello, Tannia.
Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us or tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you got your career in law started?
Sure. So my name is Tannia Ospina, and I'm the founder of the Ospina Law Firm, and I also have a legal templates business for entrepreneurs called Law Bizette. And I've been an attorney for more than 10 years, but originally I started in a different practice area, so I switched my practice area to intellectual property a few years ago, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life.
Amazing. And what inspired you to get started with your own practice?
So through my entrepreneur journey, I think I was really meant to just be an entrepreneur. My mom had businesses, my other family members have had businesses, and I, graduated law school. I was a new mom, young lawyer, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to start up an online business right after law school, and it was a completely separate business from law. So it was an online boutique, and through that I started having issues with my intellectual property, people stealing my images, pictures of my children, and then I just got fascinated by this type of law, and then I said, I love this type of law. I want to work with business owners. I really understand business owners because I've been one myself in a really difficult business, and I said, I'm gonna switch my practice areas and I'm going to start this, this new firm, and it's
Fantastic.
one of the best things I've ever done.
Fantastic. Can you share a little bit more about the services you provide exactly?
Sure. So I work with business owners really protecting their intellectual property. So intellectual property covers trademarks, contracts, and then also copyright. So I help them receive their copyright registrations, trademark registrations. I also help them review agreements because I have clients that are influencers as well. So really anything that they need protection, whether it's their business name, their logo, I help them secure that. And then I also kind of help them with their website too, make sure that their website's compliant, because there's so many different issues you can have with your website. Even just offer them general support in business law related, so minimize their risk of getting sued by someone.
Excellent. I usually like to ask people when they do this show, because there's so much youth out that perhaps is considering a career or still in high school and wondering, where do I go next for the next big thing, right? So in terms of becoming a lawyer, what would you suggest to that aspiring young high schooler?
I would suggest, I think we need more attorneys, especially Latinos. I'm Latina, Spanish-speaking attorneys in the United States. I would suggest that they, reach out to attorneys like myself, find mentors in the field. I think that they should really I think in college it doesn't really matter what major you
There is no
major in.
specific undergraduate degree that would help them?
It depends really what type of law they're going to get into, but I would say just really work on getting good grades. That matters.
Good
right?
grades.
Good
you
grades.
Heard it here. Good grades, please.
And hopefully they like to read. And then meet some lawyers, talk to them, ask them what they do every day. And I think because being a lawyer, you really can do so many different things. And I think entrepreneurs really are also great attorneys. And great attorneys are entrepreneurs. So I think, you can be a criminal defense attorney, you can be someone like me, intellectual property. So there's so many different areas of law you can get into. I think it's really just what works for you.
Excellent. And why would an influencer or a business owner need to protect their logo or need to protect any creation they come up with? What is at risk here?
So really, at risk is all their hard work. You really risk a lot when you don't protect your name, your logo, because you can literally be forced to rebrand, and it's happened to a lot of people that I know. And you really risk just having to start all over again when you're in this online space, right? It's such a popular space, and there's a lot of infringement. There's a lot of people copying each other. So when you don't protect and assert your rights and you don't get these trademark registrations, you run the risk of having to start all over again, having to find a new name, being forced to rebrand, lose all the time you spent marketing and even investing in that name.
What does the process look like? Let's say we design here a new logo for BronxNet and they reach out to you. What does that look like? Like, what are the steps? What is that journey for a business owner?
So at first, when they start working with me, I do have an onboarding call because I like to get to know the business owner, really what is important for them so I can prioritize. So we start there. I have a call, get to know the business. I explain the trademark process, how long it is, because it is a legal process. So they have a better understanding of, how much time it's going to take, because it does take us a few months. It could take up to a year for you to get a trademark registration. And then after that, we go and submit the application. We wait to hear back from the USPTO. They approve it or they don't. They have some issues with it. I take care of that. And then after that, it's approved for registration and we get a certificate. But it's really just a powerful way.
Are there any renewals afterwards?
You do have renewals every certain like 5 years, 10 years, it gets a little, you do have to renew because you do have to show that you're actually using it.
So people would normally need to stay with you in order for you to be attentive to those dates, I assume.
Yes. They would need to, and I stay in contact with them. Hey, your renewal is up, and, and hopefully they stay with me as long as I'm doing my job. And usually they do. So, for me, it's, I think my approach to legal is really making myself accessible and really just try to understand the business owner and understand their business so we can prioritize legal protections, because you can protect a lot of things in your business, but there are some that are more important than others.
So your specialty is intellectual property.
Yes.
And contracts you mentioned. You mentioned a portal. Can you elaborate on that?
So it's a legal website that has templates and contracts where you can download them and start using them today. So it's a way for me to really make, having contracts in your business very accessible and very affordable to people, because you go online, buy one of my contracts, and you can start using it right away.
A template, if you will.
A template, you have to fill it out with your personal information, and there's instructions that will help you fill it out yourself. But then that way, you're not paying, hourly fees to have someone do it for you. And these are just a very, great way to do, take care of your the legal stuff in your business.
Now, are the contracts on this portal valid for New York, New Jersey, or where can they be used?
So it's called Law Gazette, and they are general contract principles. So I always say you always want to make sure that if there's any specific guidelines, for example, there's specific guidelines in New York when it comes to certain employment relationships and employment contracts, you do have to make sure that you have it ultimately reviewed, but it depends on the contract, right? Some, or a template, if you're gonna use a website template, those are general and they should cover you across the US.
But the ones you offer?
Yeah, they're general contract principles. They're not state specific. If you want state specific, we do have to review it and customize it for the state.
And can you repeat again that website for our viewers if they'd like to go on and check out what you have there?
Yeah, it's Law Gazette. It's www.lawbizette.com.
Excellent. I think that sounds very practical, I would imagine, for any business owner.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. And actually, that's like one of my main principles for my business, to make legal practical and help you prioritize. So it's just a great way. And I'm also an entrepreneur first, so I'm not only a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur, and I understand we're busy, right? We have a lot of things to do. So it's
a lot of expenses also.
A lot of expenses. There's so much, right, all the time. So I want to make legal affordable for business owners, but also give you protection, because at the end of the day, contracts really do their job. They protect you, they make sure you get paid. I want my clients to make sure that they get paid, but if you don't have contracts with people, then
And also for you
make it
not to get sued,
yes,
right?
minimize.
If you're hiring.
Or if you do have a lawsuit, you control where the lawsuit will be, right? Because they signed a contract saying that they agree to be taken to court in New York. And that's something very powerful, right? Are you
Interesting.
going to sign a contract that says that they could take you to court in Florida? No,
LA
no,
right now?
you don't want LA,
No.
California. You don't want that. You want to be
Yeah.
able to control these terms. So that's why, honestly, for all entrepreneurs, you need to use contracts that are very favorable to you, the business owner.
Are sometimes revisions happen, I assume, correct? Once both parties read prior to signing, and then it's finalized, correct?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So, and what about for the lawyers that are? I know we spoke just about going into law, but going into specifically trade making and trademarking and startup business. Like, how does that differ in law school?
So you can take classes that where you specialize in trademarks or copyright, because those are different types of intellectual property. But really, in law school, you would take intellectual property just as a general subject, and then really, then try to get some experience. Now, your typical attorney, intellectual property is a very difficult area to get into. I kind of did not do it that way. I did not take any classes in law school because I switched my practice area, remember? So I sort of got lucky, and I was able to get into this practice area and really have a lot of success in this practice area, but it was because of my business experience. Then, of course, I worked for other lawyers. I took some courses as an attorney, and then I specialized in trademarks. So there's also, it's better obviously to do it in law school, but sometimes in law school you don't know what you're really going to love. So there's still different options to do it after law school and get into this practice area.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
I'm mentoring some students too, some law students,
Oh, wow.
to help them get into this practice area, because it is a little bit difficult
So
sometimes.
it's your way of giving back.
Yes.
Any particular law school you're affiliated with at the
So,
moment, or that you're allowed to say, of course, because
No affiliation. It's honestly been very informal mentoring.
very good, excellent. So we are nearing our end. Where can we go to learn more about your law firm aside from the contracts page?
Okay.
So where can people find you, Tannia Ospina, the lawyer?
So you can find me on my law firm website is theospinalawfirm.com. I know it's very long. So theospinalawfirm.com, the OSPINA lawfirm.com.
Excellent. And your offices are New York and New Jersey?
Right now, just in New Jersey, but hopefully that will change soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Tannia.
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us. Oh, lastly, do you have any social media handles?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
You can follow me on Instagram, Tannia Ospina Law, and then on TikTok, Tannia Ospina Law. So it's TANNIA Ospina, OSPINA Law, both on TikTok and Instagram. And then I'm also on Pinterest, too.
On Pinterest,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I think it's because of the
Excellent.
e-commerce person in me. I'm on Pinterest.
Thank you, Tannia.